This was the period 1 quiz, and it looks an awful lot like the two the two questions we had just before you took the quiz. It's two triangles created by crossed lines with a couple of angles that are congruent. You don't really have enough numbers in order to make side, 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 or side, angle, side. So you're sort of stuck with trying to do angle, angle, but it's not that hard to do. First of all, you're given two angles that you already know about. I guess if we had some letters here, that might make it a little bit easier. So angle ABC is congruent to angle CED, and that's given. The other thing we know is that these two angles are congruent. Angle ECD is congruent to angle ACB because they are vertical angles, and vertical angles are always congruent. And that's it. You have two pairs of congruent corresponding angles. And that means that triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEC by angle-angle similarity. Okay? Because A and D are corresponding angles, B and E are corresponding angles, and there are two corresponding angles that share C as a vertex. Okay? It's very important that you get these in the right order, as you'll see in a moment. This statement right here, this similarity statement, tells you everything you need to know in order to do this problem, but most people didn't notice. Angle A has to be congruent with angle R. Angle B has to be congruent with angle V. Angle C has to be congruent with angle U. Angle D has to be congruent with angle T. And angle E has to be congruent with angle S, because that's the order they come in. So when you're trying to find angle E, that's going to be congruent to angle S, which is 30 degrees. Also, the sides are going to be proportional in a very specific way. AB is going to be equal to, AB over RV is going to be equal to BC over VU, which is going to be equal to CD over UT, which is going to be equal to DE over TS, which is going to be equal to EA over SR. Now, which of these numbers do we have here? We have AE is 4. We have AB is 5. We have VR is 20. That's this one. And we have UT is 80. That's this one here. So really, the only ones that line up are these, where we have two of them. And that means that the ratio here is going to be 5 over 20, which is equal to 1 over 4. And that means, what are we trying to find here? X DC, right here. And we know this is 80, so we know that 1 over 4, this ratio, is going to equal X over 80. If we multiply both sides by 80, it looks like this. And if we reduce it, it looks like this. So the answer here is 20.